is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talk only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Bahamas South Island Promotion Board, Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Click, KFC, Muffler World, Nassau Cruise Port, Naughty Johnny's, Print Masters, and Sandcastle Bahamas.
Yeah, I think about the end just way too much, but it's fun to fantasize. All my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was, but it's fun to fantasize. Taking my time on my ride. Oh, I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride. I die for you, that's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take a for them, a for you, a for everybody in this room, but they don't seem to see many coming through. Coming through metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally.
You've got to log in to the Tuesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. Your boy Naughty and your company right up until 6 p.m. And if you guys behave, I might have a little surprise for you today, too. All right, but today is Tuesday. We will be going down to Grand Bahama as we do each and every Tuesday. Check in with Sarah Kirby. Don, I don't think he's joining us today. I know he's busy. I know he's traveling. He's hustling, bustling. So I wish him all the best in all his endeavors. He'll probably join us next week. So we will chime in with Sarah Kirkby short order on the flip side of the break as we get into the buzz, all brought to you, of course, by John Shoes. But before we do that, we got to do this. If you want to chime in, because the lines are going to be open, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC. 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Stream, phone lines open in New Providence. 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free and anyone the family on is 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. And, of course, like I said, you can stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. All right. Now, it's been that kind of Tuesday. So, yeah, we got plenty to talk about. Like I said, we will be going to Sarah Kirkby in short order. On the flip side of the break, I see I got a call already. Let's get to the lines. Talking Heads.
You're not, we don't hate you. You're just naughty by nature.
What's going on, GNN?
Man, if I tell you what's going on, your ears might drop off. Listen.
Man, listen, I hear you're getting into mischief today.
Mischief, man. The nation needs to know some things. And we got some fellas, they continue to try to shadow and hide things, naughty, and we ain't gonna make it like that. You understand me? But what I call to tell you, because I even hear them rebuke talking to you.
Yeah, man. You know, unless is God tapping me and rebuking me, I don't check. And then MJ, of course. But outside of them two, I really don't check.
I know how you go. But I call to say this. The people that want knock GNN popularity, you know, because GNN, to tell the truth, that is Grammy boy.
Not a boy.
Every time they poke up their head, they embarrass themselves. The person I call no name said today on national radio worldwide, GNN always calling the radio through talking nonsense, right? I said the price the Chinese is give substandard materials and labor. That's why the price gone from $290,000 down to $265,000, because the Chinese come with an inferior concrete product. And the man called the show, say, talking nonsense, all kind of things, GNN.
I can cut to the chase because I know you know your stuff about concrete and so on and so forth. From somebody who's done events there, hosted events there, and coached there, I see the concrete crumbling, cracking out, and what you call them, wrod iron pieces sticking out with
and the wrought iron,
the rods.
Now, I never said Darwin was doing shorty work, because Darwin wanted the $290,000 concrete. See, that's where these fellas jump, they party name call and jump to conclusion. But at the end of the show just now with Fez, he called back. But he to try to embarrass CNN, but he said totally embarrassed himself by explaining the two different types of concrete for CNN. First, the higher concrete, what would have cost the price to go back up. And then he said, Darwin said he changed it to the reinforced concrete because it saved $20 million. But yeah, that's what the almost.
And what I tell you, you was getting in the mischief because now Nana Boy got a call Talking Head so you could have the last word because you like last.
But see, I could call Talking Head because I don't have a problem with Nutty. But obviously some of them do.
Well, hey, all I say is, if you ain't hated on, you ain't really saying nothing. You ain't relevant if you don't have haters. And guess what? I take their hate and it inspires me to be great. I appreciate the call, Jen, and have a good afternoon, bro. And I know how you go. Keep on contributing. All right, so like I said, we'll touch base with Sarah Kirkby in Grand Bahama on the flip side of the break. The lines are open. And like I said, we find out what's going on in Grand Bahama with Sarah, because each and every Tuesday we got the great supplement in The Guardian, courtesy of the Grand Bahama News. Once we get that out of the way, we're going to open up the lines, and we got lots to talk about. And I see y'all still all on immigration. Hey, my God. That and more. But I tell you, all this carry go bring come. We've reached a new age in radio, though. That you got callers calling in, getting off on other callers. It never used to be that way back in the day. We used to just be happy for callers. Then a couple of y'all started making sense, and that was even better in our Springer Show. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here. So we got this Freddie McGregor lined up in Snaggerpuss for all y'all carry go bring comers. Take me to the break, Mr. Producer.
Go to hell. Chew your chatty. Chew your carry. You make Crystal, now talk to Shabba. Look at that, you Prince Charles, separate from Diana. Yeah, still even watching Cleavy. Damn, it's like individuals Robbie. People watching Rory. Chew your lava mouth. Yeah, what a controversy. This carry go bring come, my dear. Bring misery. What a shame. This carry no bring come, my dear. Bring misery. Chew your blabber mouth. You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Long day? Hungry crew? Satisfy everyone with KFC's Summer Buckets. Grab a super summer bucket and get 8 juicy pieces of fried chicken, 8 nuggets, corn, our new white rice with gravy, 4 buttery biscuits, 4 Switcher Pink lemonades, and 4 dessert biscuits. So whether it's on the beach, at home, or chilling with the crew, KFC Summer Bucket starting at just $20. Bring all the flavor. Summer with KFC. It's finger licking good.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for The Buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
Yike! Miss Carrico Brinkham, you want to lose your tongue. You
chatty cause of disturbance in the community. Yeah, Ike. You blabber mouth. Watch your mouth. Yeah, Ike. Let's carry the bring come, my dear.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. It is the Tuesday edition. We're going straight down to Grand Bahama. It is time for the Freeport Report. We got Sarah Kirkby joining us from the Grand Bahama News. How are you, Sarah?
I'm all right, darling. How are you?
We are good, man. And how goes it down there in Grand Bahama? You got a big supplement this week. You got a lot of stories going on. What's happening down in Grand Bahama?
Oh, we're busy, but I don't know about you, but you've been having all this rain?
Yeah, we've been having good rain. We need some rain over here, and I hope it's giving you what you guys need over there, too.
It is. We've needed a lot of it. Everything's looking green and overgrown now. So, yeah, we've been having a couple. Last week was a hard one. We had a lot for us. A little frustrating for people, especially in the summer with so much going on, and it wasn't. We didn't quite know what was going on, but we've had a bit more of a communication now. They have seemed to have got the power stabilized since Saturday, and things have been much better. So we have a story on that today in the paper. It gives you an update. Both the government and the Port Authority have also met with the power company here. As you know, ours is different from yours. So this is not something we're used to. So they are both meeting to make sure that this is happening. And obviously, we have the same complaints about, the rate of power bills and everything as well. But for us, especially towards the end of the week, Thursday, the end of Independence celebrations, and on Friday, power was just on and off all day. It was, quite a hard one for all of us.
Well, I'm glad that you're getting on the road to recovery with that. There's light at the end of the tunnel, no pun intended. But
total pun intended, yeah.
There you go. But
yeah, we've got that today. And then we have the story about the incubator center program.
I saw that. A $3 million incubator center?
Yes, hell, a lot of people will know it. It's right there on the drive when you come in, Royal Palm Hotel. It was actually the first hotel my dad ever got a job at when he first came to the Bahamas, funny enough.
All right, then.
And it's right there on our main road heading into town. And so it did belong to Mr. Mario Donato. And he sold it. I believe it's sold. I think it's sold to the government. And so they're going to put in a business incubator center. And that incubator center is a word that always gets me. I don't get the incubator thing, but I guess it's a modern techie term. They're going to help new entrepreneurs get their feet wet and get them started in business. And if you read through, it's how it's going to work. It's a Ministry of Tourism and Aviation project, and I believe it's really supposed to help young kids get started in a variety of businesses. And with Grand Bahama, coming into so much work and things going to boom and grow as it would look like it would progress, we are going to need other people and other businesses. We are going to need more supermarkets. We are going to need more hairdressers, more barbers, everything that you would need in a regular thing because, we're struggling now. We need more restaurants. Things like that as our back and people return home and work increases and our population increases. So this is to help them get started. And then the Ministry of Tourism offices will also go above that area if you read through the story and find out about that.
There you go. So
yeah,
and then a lot of movement down there. That's good to see.
Yeah, well, I was speaking to a friend of mine today, and he owns a local restaurant. And we've had stories, we've all seen them, and we haven't done a story on it, but a lot of people lost their staff to Carnival because, Carnival was hiring people. I'm sure it's similar to what happened with you guys with Atlantis and Bahamar, people moving during these, hiring and changing jobs, right? And so a lot of people have left. So new people are taking on different jobs. Other people are coming in. Hopefully other people are returning home. And so they'll start picking up these other jobs. So, but he lost 16 employees to Carnival. So but there's a lot of opportunity out there for hard workers. So, that's a good thing. So hopefully that means more people can pick up other jobs. Anyway.
Once there's jobs enough to go around, that's a good thing, wherever they end up being, and once payments get them, that's a good thing.
And I had that issue. I'm sure there's other ones that have. So, I would encourage people out there to get their resume going and keep looking. We have a story on a great little summer fun camp, and I want to give a shout out to our summer intern for the newspaper who wrote the story, and her sister was in the play, so that kind of helped her too. So it was a cute little thing, a 2-week course, and they put on a whole production.
Good
It was a
stuff.
lovely, yeah, it was really great. These kids are adorable. I mean, there was a little 8-year-old that she sang her heart out. She was fantastic. And we have a lovely working theater, so we were very fortunate. So it was a great show and great support from parents. We had Falcon Boys Club. They're continuing a tradition of traveling abroad to play. And this is a great organization run by Pastor Roll. You can read about that and learn about his program as well. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find out all the great things he does. Well, yeah. Well, this is not Tabernacle. This is the Falcons Boys Club, which runs separately. It's just outside. I think it's in the Hawksville area.
Okay.
And so they're really there. He's really there helping young kids stay on track, young boys particularly, and keeping them on the straight and narrow and using sports and being there for mentors for young kids. So it's a very recognized program on the island, and so we wanted to highlight what he's doing and the good work that for the kids in the neighborhood, which is super.
Good stuff, and that's a good tournament they went to. Now I see that the ugly of it this week. The eye sweat dumping continues to blight our island over there in Grand Bahama.
I got to be in my bonnet. Like, you don't like people that park in the handicap spots, which I also do not like. Which, by the way, I did send you a picture of a government one the other day.
I got that in the collection. Something coming real soon with all of that.
Yeah, and but this is discriminate dumping just all over. And you wouldn't mind, but if you read the article, we have a fantastic system here. They'll actually pick it up for you for a small $10 charge, but you can also take it to the dump, and they'll take it for free. So this, and as our island comes back, this is the last thing we need. And what I'm really annoyed with, not annoyed, but I wish they would do. We have signs about fines that you can get for people just throwing garbage. We all Burger King in Kentucky and any restaurant, they throw stuff out the window. Just take it home and put it in your trash. This is not, I hate it when you hear people say, oh, but we pay garbage men to pick it up. They don't want to go pick up extra garbage. Take it home and put it in the trash. My mom would have slapped these people around their heads and said, you got no brought up seat. Put the garbage in the can. So annoying.
And then more sad news, decomposed body found near Jack Haywood High. A lot of people feared that could have been a missing 65-year-old that had been reported, and it turns out that that's possibly the case now.
It is. So we will hopefully have an update on that in the next couple of weeks when we do our police report, because we do that once a month. So we're hoping to hear. But it is an ongoing worry because we did have a few people missing. So we will try to update on that as much as we can. And then we also have some storm readiness. We want everyone to be prepared. Obviously, we're very vigilant here because of what's happened to us. But they have done a lot of work on the shelters on the island. And so I give a big shout out to Tammy Mitchell, fantastic young lady who I used to play football with, soccer, for those who prefer the term. And she runs a program and works for the Ministry of Grand Bahama. You can go on their site. She does videos. They try to keep everyone updated, and she's working very hard to ensure that everybody is prepared as they should be for, a season of storms, just to be safe. But we're all praying that are not coming.
All right, and that kind of covers it, huh, Sarah?
It does, and I just want to remind you, if you look on the front, I want to thank you, a new advertiser, which is the Grand Bahama Island Tourism Board, because they are supporting us, and they're talking about Gun Bay Summer Festival, which starts this Thursday, and it's really fantastic here, and we get great turnout, and everyone comes out. All the tourists will get to see Summer Junkanoo, which is great because they love it, and it's a great time for vendors to make some money, great food. But there's crafts, there's everything out. There's a really good atmosphere. My favorite, is around. So it's a great event, and I want to encourage everyone to go out and support it locally as well.
All right, but I'm sure they will, man. That seems to be a staple, and if you find some good gully wash, then that's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Actual name for gully wash, incorrect name is Sky Juice. But anyway, we understand Grand Bahamians and their gully wash.
That's right. We like to keep the name correct. So
we like to keep it gully, I know. All right. All right, Sarah, appreciate you, man. And we'll talk again next week. Hopefully you and Darren will be able to join us, and we'll chop it up as we always do. But I appreciate your contribution, and keep up the good work with the supplement each and every Tuesday right here in The Guardian.
Thank you. We thank you for the time and for taking care of GB. We appreciate it.
I got love for GB. It's all good. Let's get to this quick break. Flip side of the break. I'll be back. Flip side of the break. I tell y'all behave yourself. I got a surprise for you. And that's all coming up. Keep it right where you got it.
So I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride.
Wait, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school? He could do Junior in?
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl?
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call, report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you said.
Calls 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
I just wanna stay in the sun where I find it's hard sometimes of peace in the sun's peace of mind. I know it's hard sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much, but it's fun to fantasize.
We're back at you on the Tuesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. And we are still in the 4 o'clock hour. 4:41 p.m. is the time. Phone lines are open. 323-6232. 325-4259, 325-4316 here in New Providence. Toll free to anyone in the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. Text lines are open and powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. And I told you I had a surprise, so ladies and gentlemen, here's MJ.
Right over here to hang out with you for a little bit. Good afternoon,
That
everyone.
is such a beautiful and pleasant surprise. I thank you so much.
And I have to send a shout out to Sarah because I love the Grand Bahama News, and I was just looking. You handed me a copy of it when I got in, and I thought, this is kind of getting back. It's growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of getting back to what I remember growing up when we used to have the Freeport News back in the day. You could get a lot of information about what was happening in Grand Bahama. So shouts out to them, and I hope it continues to grow. I hope they get even more. I think she said they got a new sponsor, right? So I hope it continues to grow and we could get back to what we were, back in the day. But yeah, shouts out to the Grand Bahama News. Chewing gum?
No, you know what I'm doing. I appreciate
chewing gum on air.
Shout out to Energy doing the sandwich.
Oh yeah, food, lunch.
You brought it. I appreciate you bringing it.
Cool.
You told me don't put it on air, but that's a good sandwich.
It is delicious.
Man, it's good. All right.
So what's up?
Well, where do we start? All right. China Defense Hospital loan, of course they would.
Yeah, I don't.
And any regionalization they could, and globalization they can get, they always do that.
I think we see what's happening between the U.S. and U.K., the Western powers and a little back and forth in the papers to do with the loan for the hospital, and China's on one side and they're on another side. I think, though, for the moment, the approach taken by the OPM, and I think I saw something by Latre Raming, Director of Communications, which just says that we're not going to get into their geopolitical fight. I think that's the best stance at this moment. I think that's the best position because outside of this argument over the hospital and the loan, they've got a much bigger argument happening, and it feels a little bit tense considering the new administration in the U.S., their stance with China, and of course the way that the Chinese government views these things.
Don't forget a fiscal crib.
Take the approach that we take. Now, do I find it interesting that they did get a second offer and it was being reported that there was no response?
Now.
Although Dr. Darville did say that he had meetings with them, so I'm not understanding from the reporting.
Darville, UK didn't make competitive offer for hospital.
Right.
Now, here's my deal. If they didn't, then Doc, then don't even mention it. But what was that?
Maybe that's why they didn't answer back.
But was that pontificating and grandstanding when you had to pontificate and monologue in the house and say grandiose, things going on in your ministry? Oh, we got 2 competitive offers, one for UK and one from China.
Did we just learn about this yesterday?
Or were you just taking the deal from China in the first place, didn't put the rest out to bid, and then said, oh, by the way, to make it look good, let me talk to them about UK, and now they didn't make you an offer?
According to the article, and I think I read something in The Guardian as well as the other daily, Dr. Darville says that they were kind of late in the process before they sat down with the British. Or something like that? Now, the British, I guess, are saying that we didn't respond. They sent a letter and it was never responded to, which I find to be highly unprofessional. Still not clear who's telling the truth on that, whether we did respond or didn't respond. But according to Dr. Darville, this process is far along. And if he's saying now that they didn't even make a competitive offer for the hospital, then that's the end of the story. That's the end of that. We did the deal with China, and that's that.
In the words of James Bond, Money Penny, if there's one race that knows timing and protocol, it's we, the British. You can't tell British people or anybody in that capacity, especially from Great Britain, that a response was not warranted. That is the protocol.
I mean, you respond.
Thanks, but no thanks. That's the common courtesy.
Yeah, maybe we need a timeline of this because on the one hand, there was no response, but it seems like there were meetings, according to Dr. Darville.
Or maybe we should have some Peaky Blinders to go pay him a visit and ask for a response.
And yeah, I think
great
at
show.
this point,
we need to binge watch,
done.
by the way.
We'll get to it eventually.
Great show. Talking Heads.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I don't know how smart Mr. Roming is.
Sorry?
I don't know how smart Mr. Roming is.
Okay.
Okay.
His statement about us not getting involved in this geopolitical thing.
Right.
Right. I mean, China is halfway around the world.
Sure.
Okay? And the proximity, between and the U.S. and us in England and us in China, it must come for something. I don't think, I think these guys are extremely dumb.
Which guys?
Mr. Roming and crew. We are in the midst of a geopolitical war, if we want to be in it or not.
Right.
Due to our proximity, I get your point.
But I think, if I can, caller, I think that kind of speaks to why he is towing the line of we're not going to get involved in this spot, because we do recognize that it's not just about the hospital. There's a bigger picture that's happening in the Caribbean. And honestly, I don't see what other position the government could take at this particular juncture. Yes, we do have a much closer relationship with the United States. We have so many more commonalities with the U.S. We depend on them for tourism. Our cultures are not that far apart. We, have so many things in common, a lot of family in the U.S., so forth and so on. But at the same time, they weren't offering the money for the hospital halfway across the world with a new emerging power that says, hey, well, we'll give you the loan at a low interest rate. So if you want the hospital, and we could debate whether or not getting that hospital right now, spending that money even makes sense. But if our government decides that they're going to do it, you would think they would go for the best deal. And if China is offering that best deal, mind you, we hear the warnings of the U.S., we know the caveats, but I can't blame them for taking it if building that hospital is something this administration sets out to do. And right now, we don't have a better position than saying, we don't want to get into a fight. We're friends with everyone.
I tell you, but when you look at it, this is the same conversation that's being had in Venezuela, Jamaica.
Of course, it's tied to so many other things. We
and other parts of
understand
the world,
the
too.
whole
I'm just talking within the region.
Belt and Road
Yep.
Initiative. We understand that at a point where the U.S. is pulling back on soft power and kind of like pulling back on the carrot and mostly dealing with nations with the stick, China's doing the opposite. You know, they have a lot of interests around the world, and they're using their soft power to get a lot of things done and also to help their country, because at the end of the day, everything that the Chinese do is in the interest for the Chinese, or some benefit in giving us this loan at this low rate, you know, making friends, so forth and so on. But at the same time, they are at it. And you can tell by the response, even by the Chinese ambassador. It's kind of cheeky saying, well, did you guys give them a loan? You know what I mean? So the best position, I think, right now for us is to take the position that, you know, Mr. Raming took, that the government took at this point, until we could take another position.
Let me check the text lines real quick. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Love GNN, because like yourselves, he does his research. Like you and MJ, he does his research. And, okay, we'll let GNN know. I'm sure he's listening, so, you know. What is this, Battle of the Callers Day?
I don't know. It's such a weird thing happening.
All right, we got a couple of calls. We'll get to you in a second, caller. Let me get a couple of these texts out here. Naughty and MJ, it's time for us to wake up the lost sleepers up. Bahamas unite, one flag, one people, one nation. Good day, Naughty and MJ. Did Darville get a reply back from Rubio to get permission as yet to hire Cuban officials for the health care?
Yeah, the optics on that is crazy.
No
Not
bueno.
good.
No bueno.
So maybe it's just best to,
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Of all the challenges facing the various U.S. agencies at the moment, this one is super easy. And practices in the Bahamas are that suspect on this one. Tell the Chinese come from around here and swiftly provide the loan required to complete the hospital project. Makes sense? Question mark. I just like the from around here, because I think you spelled it correctly. Does that look like the correct spelling from around here?
I like that.
Yeah, if not, that's a good one. Yeah, around
like
here.
how we say it. Around here.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, you know, I just I hear MJ when she talk about this deal with China is a better deal, but we don't know the details of this deal other than the low interest rate.
Sorry. I didn't say that, caller. I said that was the deal that this government says is on the table and had progressed, and that they didn't get an offer from the British. So if they want to move along with it, if it's an agenda item, then they take the deal that's on the table.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's better. I don't know what the British offered. I don't know.
And we don't know basically what China offers yet. We don't know whether.
You're right.
We know from past performances that China have a labor component attached to it.
Yes.
And they also want to do the construction.
Yep,
you're right. And so what is in this for the Bahamas?
Yep, and the U.S. said that, you know, the U.S. Charge d'Affaires did say that we're going to end up with the elites benefiting from this, with shoddy work and sovereignty at risk. So, yeah, we have to hear what they have to say. But I'm speaking strictly from Darville's point of view, from what he said. So we hear that the British offered something different. We don't know the details of that. He says they didn't.
Basically what we need, you know, we can't have this, and have successive government operating like they're a part of the secret society type thing, which all of them pledged to be before being, you know, running for office. You know, this is the public discourse.
Yes.
And if our children and grandchildren and generations yet unborn are going to be here to pay for this, we have to get the best possible deal for Bahamians.
We do.
And we have to look at, and this is why, you know, we have to look seriously at other countries other than just China. You see, because we see what happened with Sarkis and that investment at Bahamas.
Exactly.
We see what happened at the point where they found all sorts of immigrants who were working there. Some were unceremoniously released after they've been caught. So we don't know the type of, you know, China operates, and so does this government. And it isn't good for public discourse. In order for us, if you're giving us the best deal, shouldn't we know the details of these heads of agreement?
I agree with you 1,000%.
And maybe if we had a proper functioning Freedom of Information
I totally
Act,
agree with you.
You know? That would help us too.
But I think. Go ahead.
I believe that governments normally prefer to work with China as opposed to working with the UK and the United States of America because they are more transparent. When you're borrowing monies from Uncle Sam, you don't want to take a chance to do anything nefarious. You see? So I believe they are ducking those sorts of things because they don't want to be transparent. They have to be transparent, and they try to go after these particular loans with China. Because I believe we should really be distancing ourselves from China when we look at how they treated Sarkis. If Sarkis wasn't a billionaire, he would have never gotten his money back.
And also, I think we should be diversifying the sources we get these big loans from, not just one place, you know?
Think out for what is in the best interest of Bahamians.
Sure.
These things, and it seems as if, I basically was off the impression that no matter where China lend money, whenever they're doing construction, they're attached to it. But when he was talking about returning factories back to the U.S., and he said if China wants to build, he's going to put them on notice. There will be no labor component attached to these particular projects. Americans are going to build these projects. This is type of negotiation that our government needs. But then we operate from the position of from our needs as opposed to common sense and intelligence. But what we should look at too, we need to have a Department of Government and Efficiency, and maybe we may not even have to borrow all these monies that we are borrowing.
A Doge.
A lot of money.
Get a Doge? That's what we need?
A Doge.
A Doge, yeah.
A Doge.
Who's our Elon Musk to start up our Doge?
We need to take a better, a more sensible approach at how we're spending these money. You see these started contracts. You see buildings right there on Thompson Boulevard by the Attorney General's office. Both of those buildings cost $30 million. They look like $30 million worth of building to yours?
No. Nope.
But that's $60 million side by side, according to them. And then a prison, just $90 million for a prison.
And I'm still wondering how that prison, that $90 million, they slid that in. Because remember the prison initially, the budget was for that was $40 million. But then the second time it jumped to $90 million, the balloon. And people was like, wait a minute, what's going on with the balloon? Now it's just slid through? Come on, man.
While I agree, we need to do a better job at the prison and how.
I agree it needs to be an upgrade. I agree, but it can't be a balloonage to $90 million.
$90 million for a prison, but all of these social issues going on in our country. My God, man, that money could have been better spent on doing things to address these social.
I agree. We need a new prison, but
these things, except Naughty, it seems as if that they are building this prison maybe because to house them and themselves. If they
goodness.
All right, and on that note, that's a good joke. I like that one.
Okay,
don't be a stranger. Keep calling. Let's get. I like the new voices calling too. That's good stuff. Talking Heads.
Hey, good afternoon, Naughty. Good afternoon, MJ.
Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on, 52?
Right here in the struggle. You know how it is.
You know how it is.
I had to get in because MJ sends me in the world of geopolitics, right?
Yeah.
Look at the geopolitical puppetization of third world countries that we see visibly, and then it's a mass psychosis going on, social engineering project going on, and this is what they feed us. And the caller called earlier, I think he called Pearlie or texted Pearlie, and he said that, as Negroes, because I guess, he was saying how people come down on Sabas. And I kind of agree with what he's saying, because he was saying how all the geotheatrics, even at home and abroad, is designed for mass destruction, distraction, right? And how it destroys the mind. And so when we look at even like a caller like me over the years, when you come into contact with pundits, even if you say something that's true and the person said it's not, then the public accepts that as gospel. And a perfect example of that was the argument of whether vaccinations and immunizations are the same. And when you ask Google the question, it says exactly how they are different. I already said it already over and over. They are not the same. But yet still, because a person ran away to school, they are the same. And so that's how it remains. So we don't respect and trust one another, even as Negroes, as we see it, even when they pitted William E. Du Bois against Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X against Martin Luther, according to their ideologies, him and Stokely Carmichael. This is what they're good at. And so MJ mentioned something about something about China, but it's actually, I call it stealth. It's like you move in. They don't need physical forces to overtake countries. They're using stealth.
Yeah, soft power. Soft power.
As we move here to give, and it was interesting. But I was realizing that the only thing we get freedom of the information on is crime. Where they give us the statistic readily. MJ, you notice that, right?
Yeah.
stats on crime, whether it's up or down,
We get that.
They really do that, but nothing else. So we as demons have to wake up, and don't wait like Jacob. We really have to wake up, man, because the political contempt for the masses is sickening for me. I mean, really and truly. And I like how MJ summed it up too. I have an American family and I have American friends, but so that was a realistic way to look at it. But in this event, you're still creating puppets, and out of this whole situation, that's what you're doing. But China has American companies in America also, so it's more like a puppetization project going on here, man. And so anyone who really believes, I don't know if they change their policies or their agendas, but just look at NSM 200 and 220 and shut your mouth up. Give thanks.
Yes, 52. Good stuff as always. We're going to take a quick break. Flip side of the break, we got Cuban Willie's numerology report, brought to you, of course, by the Island Game. We got the news coming up. And then on the flip side of the break, in the 5 o'clock, MJ and I'll take it over a little bit for you. Texts, we're going to get to you. Oh, my God, that's a lot of texts. We're going to get to you all, boy. And listen, you all type in mini-series today. I got some long texts.
I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this warning from Cable Bahamas over Starlink. Have you heard much talk about that?
Well, I know Mr. Butler got up in arms about it.
It should be a much bigger story than it is, but not talking about it a lot. And also, I guess you'll talk about a little bit about Pastor Lyle Bethel. He's had some things to say, and some persons have responded.
Correct. We'll talk about the continuing immigration situation.
Sure.
And he still got to address Mr. National Security and a couple of things. And down and more, so we'll take it over into the 5 o'clock. Keep it right where you got it.
All I do is win, no matter what.
Feeling lucky? Here's Cuban Willie's numerology report. Brought to you by the Island Game.
Guajira, Guantanamera, buenos dias. It's Tuesday, and it's me, Cuban Willie, time for my numerology report, brought to you, of course, by the Island Game. And today is Tuesday. I got the cuatro pelotas for you, the 4 volts. That's right, the 4 volts today. The 0, 1, 0, 9, 0, 1, 0. Give me a dream. Play it and win with the Island Game. Stay winning, my friends.
Hear that? That's not just a crunch. It's the sound of flavor turning up. Introducing the Doritos Kentucky Chicken Sandwich, a delicious combination of KFC's juicy original recipe extra large filet, stacked with real Doritos nacho cheese chips for a loud, cheesy crunch in every bite. It's bold, it's crunchy, and it's only $8.95. Everyone's chasing the crunch. Don't be the one who missed it. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Nassau Cruise Port Collect and Ricardo Rum presents the Made in the Bahamas Festival. Join us on Saturday, July the 19th from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. for a cultural affair hosted by Kenny and the Mighty Pencil. Get ready for live performances by Avi, Fan Sean, Ancient Man, and music by the best DJs. Enjoy entertainment by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, a Junkanoo Rush Out, giveaways, and tasty Bahamian food. Admission is only $10, so don't miss out. Drink responsibly and celebrate proudly.
Fly away with me through the Bahama Keys.
Tired of the hustle and bustle of Nassau? Fly away to the Family Islands with our fly-free offer for Bahamian residents. Stay at any of our hotels for 2 nights and get a round-trip ticket for free. Visit BahamasResidence.com for details.
My Bahama land, yes, my country. Come fly away with me.
We're still here. Since 1941, the Armory Company has been your trusted partner and one-stop solution for all your business and technology needs. From printers to copier leasing, point of sale to cloud video surveillance, and access control to ATMs, we've got it all. And we ship to all family islands. Call our dedicated customer service team now at 397-1600 or visit us behind Wendy's on Mac that stands the test of time. The Armory Company. Your success is our business.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Now special dedication to all dogs of dogs, dedicated to all top dogs, celebrity crew. Man called Tony, man called Robert, and Wild Apache riding show.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Bahamas South Island Promotion Board, Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Click, KFC, Muffler World, Nassau Cruise Port, Naughty Johnny's, Print Masters, and Sandcastle Bahamas.
Mr. Producer, pull that right back from the top, please. We can do this right. That's Super Cat, my brother.
Low nostalgia for you, eh?
Because come like Nassau run hot, the ghetto run hot, everybody run hot. And they talking about the same thing. Immigration, crime, cost of living, PPL.
Sometimes some back, some of them are rally back, but we a road boy, you we no take back no chat. You full of big chat and can't defend that. If a jailhouse you come from, we sending you go back. You full of big chat and can't defend that. If a Bellevue you come from, we sending you go back. Cause when we looking the food for the potter, man I'm no buying backer.
Why didn't you buy this?
We have a rampacker.
Hey, Mr. Producer, I need you to keep this close, you know. We might have to ride with this for a couple of days. We might have to ride with this for a little bit, you know.
You see,
boy, that Super Cat will get me every time, boy. Bomba.
Oh, goodness.
All right, we into the 5 o'clock hour. We will be talking sports in short order, but we will be going over with this conversation a little bit because we still got a lot of issues we need to address and people are talking about and that's nationwide. Let me get to the text, and then once we deal with the text, the lines will be open again. 323-6232. 325-4259, 325-4316. Lines are open in New Providence. Toll free in the Family Islands, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. And, of course, stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. All right, caller, I see you. I'll get to you in a sec. Naughty, China and them will build everything cheap. Look at the sporting arena. Look at the Bahama. Hello. Make no mistakes.
Bahama is pretty well done, though, right?
Pretty solid.
Bahama is pretty well done. I think when you look at the buildings and, you know, you look at the differences, because Bahama is fine, looks great, but then the stadium looks
We've seen
terrible.
the stadium. Come
and
on,
I think
let's
that
be
comes
honest.
down to not maintenance, but management. Like, let's be real. Governments, this government has a hard time maintaining, and previous governments as well,
We as a people,
a very
but
hard time maintaining.
We suck at maintaining
buildings.
things. And this administration is a glaring example of all of that personified. Like
Because you
it was
can't
the
say
perfect
that
storm.
the Bahamas is not.
No, you can't say that.
I mean, from appearances.
Correct.
You can't say that's not
But now,
well built.
the
That's
people say
pivotal.
that I didn't see, you know, iron rods sticking out of the concrete at this national
Yeah, I
stadium.
saw it. Yeah.
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Heard American coaches even saying at Bahama Bowl,
Like wondering,
is this gonna
is
hold?
it safe?
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. I don't know who authored that editorial in The Guardian regarding the immigration situation, but they are sorely out of touch. But you don't know how editorials work?
Yeah, you're gonna get varying opinions. My thing is though, right? I prefer, and it's not often the case that you get it just based on personalities, but I do prefer when editorials, specifically because editors tend to have like such a history and, you know, such a knowledge base of not only the country, but particularly the political landscape. I prefer when I read editorials to get it in space based on what was said and then help us, you know, to digest what we heard, as opposed to just criticism on optics. I mean, but that's just me.
When you get a good editor, like you say, that has like a worldly view, as well as locally and abroad, that's always awesome. And I always got to shout out two that I work for, Dave Chappell, all right, and the late Eugene Duffy, two dudes that I learned from
Duffy,
and were good. And
may he rest in peace.
Real talk, may rest in
And
peace.
Chappell
for sure.
was your boy.
Chappell knew sports, like boy, Chappell could talk sports.
I remember that.
And he had a good sense of humor too. And see what I love about the Brits, they have a very dry sense of humor. It's like a mellow New York sense of humor, very both dry and cutting, and they prefer the hard jab. The Brits do it with a mellow, highbrow savoir-faire to it, where New York is like
Because
in your face.
You know what I noticed about the Brits, the way they speak in particular, if they're going to insult you, they'll put an adjective that's normally, you know, used in front of something good in front of something. So they'll say, like you're spectacularly stupid.
See Gordon Ramsay
You know what I
on
mean?
Hell's Kitchen.
Amazingly dumb, or they always say like a great word in front of the insult. So
Yep.
yeah, fun times with those guys.
And it's cut in, but it's funny. You laugh at it. It's funny. You can't
crazy.
get off it. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Yes, how you doing, Naughty? How you doing, MJ?
Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on,
Hey, Alan?
I'm not going to touch on all of the different things because it always takes time, but I just want to talk about the China's economic colonization policy.
Sure.
The problem is that as Bahamians, as our leadership, we have a ad hoc method of development. You hear where the Prime Minister spoke about recolonization of the Bahamas, whether it be digital or otherwise, in his speech to Cantor. Yet, if you look at the what has been done over the last, say, 25 years, you've seen nothing has been taken to get negated. And so here we are looking at what is called a state-backed lending and a debt trap diplomacy. And this is not something that the island made up. This is something that has been spoken to by individuals in diplomacy and policies around the country.
Sure, especially what's happening in Africa. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but when you speak about Africa, we could use Africa, right? We could use Africa for case studies. We could use Sri Lanka. All of these things, but the problem is that we don't have conversation and context. For instance, Mr. Fred Mitchell should have been responding to these two information to put our position, but we have none. We use the MSU, and I want to use the word, but I'm going to say make stuff up as we go along. Let's look at the fact, right, that China is about building infrastructure that actually involves debt. The most important thing that China does is the labor and skills transfer. China uses a heavy deployment of its Chinese labor and materials, right? And the problem is that it actually strips the countries of the more sort of construction industries of the ability to develop vocational training, the construction industries for supply chain, and it undermines the long-term capacity building of the countries they do it. They use their labor, and we then have to turn a blind eye to their human rights and governance. These are things that when we look at the United States, we say we have shared qualities. But what happens is when you have a country where there is no economic development regime for the country or for its people, there's no strategy to build capacity to develop the country. That's why you say, it doesn't matter, let's let the Chinese do all the labor. So we never develop a capacity. So next time we need a clinic, there's no one that has the capacity or the knowledge to actually begin to do it. And we say we're going to need dozens. So we are basically, it just makes no sense.
It'll be interesting, I think, Sialan, to look at the ratio of Bahamian construction workers versus the Chinese workers that they bring in for this hospital project. I'm sure a lot of Bahamians are going to be keeping their eyes on that. But let me ask you this. Once we've gotten ourselves in this position where we have these two superpowers basically, arguing right over our heads, what is the position that the government can take at that point? The deal is done, it's signed. The U.S. came out swinging, China swinging back.
The deal is not done. You could make the argument that the deal is signed. The deal is done when the work begins. And so this concept of, we are already too far in our negotiations and everything else, is when you take the delivery of the product. What is China bringing? China saying that we signed the deal and the hospital is out there and the supply is already on the way and all these different things. No, it is not. So this is more of linguistic contortionism.
Well, I think, to be fair, I do believe Dr. Darville said that based on the timeline that this particular administration wants, the deal is done. It was too far along. Right.
No, again, this is not for us. This is for the PLP. He said, on our timeline, not the Bahamian timeline, not what is best for the Bahamian. See, this says our marketing for our getting back in. It's not about you Bahamians. It's about, look, we need to be able to present something to you, to sell you on the concept that we are doing something. And you see it through all of the heads of agreement and a lack of disclosure. And when people talk about Doge, how complicated it is to have an assessment of what it is we need when you're about to do it, present a long-term, this is the impact on it, this is what I do, this is our strategy for building. We talk about building clinics, we talk about building things. At the same time, on the other side of the thing, we're screaming, we have no doctors to fill it, we have no nurses to fill it. And so what exactly what exactly is Dr. Davos' strategy to fix the healthcare? There is none.
That's a good question, and I hope he's listening and that he gives the public an answer soon. Thank you, Cialan.
We got some other calls. Good
yeah,
stuff,
we got a
man.
lot of callers. Thank you so much, Cialan.
Talking heads. Talking heads. All right, hit us back on
too long.
Yeah,
the time very long.
Then get the landline. You know, if you got callers that call in and contribute well. All right, so let me get to these other texts. Hello, make no mistakes, the USA don't like rich-minded black country and millionaires. It's a grave fact that Bahamians have to realize if progression is our intent, we'll have obstacles. Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking heads. Talking heads. Hello.
Yes. Hey, Naughty. And hello to your wife.
Hey, what's on, MJ? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What's going on, bro?
Hi.
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree with what Cialan said, you know, because we are not going to go nowhere as a country, and it's not about taking side. It's that which one of those persons are acting in our interest. If China were giving you the 277 million, whatever they're about, and they're going to bring in, they want 50-50. That is absurd. This is a loan that the Bahamian people have to pay you, man. And maybe at a low percent.
Yep.
Maybe at 2%, but we still have to pay you back.
That's right.
So why you have all this say about the labor component? And so I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Good question. You know, good comment, caller.
Yeah, this ain't making no sense. I mean, even if you have to go to the UK for extra, for being better because you have more control of your labor component.
Correct.
Or even the United States. So what are we doing?
Good questions,
and
good stuff.
And we haven't, like someone else pointed out, we haven't seen the two deals. We don't know.
That kind of
just
bargaining.
Have to take them at their word.
Is we need more of that kind of bargaining, hard bargaining. Why we need to be the major part of the labor component. It can't be 50-50.
It'll be interesting to see when they release the statistics.
70-30 at worst case scenario.
Right. I mean, 80-20 used to be the standard.
Correct.
Or should be the standard, but we'll see.
All right, here we go. We got a couple of texts. Naughty and MJ. There were many reports regarding quality of work at Bahama from the Tribune way back as 2050. Yeah, now we know about those stories and stuff. And I think when we refer to the Bahama being good to go, we're simply saying we don't see any iron rods sticking out of the Bahama like we saw sticking out of the
very well
Stadium.
maintained. It looks like if they had any issues, I would think that those have been dealt with. They actually plan a new tower coming up soon, a couple $100 million of dollars in that as well. So, I mean, overall, when we look at the stadium, we could see straight up that place does not look proper for a national. You just can't say that about Bahama on the surface. But yeah, we take your point, Texter.
China was never pure on the spot geopolitical for this human rights violation. Money solves many a problem. Naughty and MJ, question, is Darvel's wife Chinese? Question mark.
My goodness, what does that have to do with it?
Does that have to do with the
Come on. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. We'll do our due diligence if that really matters.
Y'all something today.
Naughty and MJ, somebody got greased. Chinese know how we go. You mean some lunch was bought, extra egg rolls?
And if they're being real, and that was the implication of the statement made by the U.S. Charge d'Affaires, talking about the elite who benefit, like, tell us more.
Tell us more.
What do you guys do? We know y'all know.
Who are them elites?
We know y'all know.
You couldn't as well tell us because our government ain't gonna tell us.
They still running that program where they record every phone call and all that stuff, or did we ever get that sorted out? Okay.
Good day, Naughty and MJ.
Just
when
curious.
The pastor was talking about Sabas, he was saying, why would Sabas run in the next election when he was rejected in the referendum? But the government said, to heck with the people, which caused them the election. Sabas is a good man, but he has no role in the government. He's only going there.
I was very surprised that some of the visceral and venom that I heard directed to Pastor Lal Bethel from some others, some other pundits really thought that it was sensible to go after him. And I'm not, believe me, there are no sacred cows as far as I'm concerned. If you do something out of the way and you need to be, chastised publicly, or what you say, taken to the woodshed, that should happen. But I absolutely thought that what Pastor Bethel was doing was something that I expected to see more clergymen doing, particularly since they were the ones that were at the forefront back in the day with the no. I wonder if Bahamians, and I've heard the argument recently about some of our history. I think when we had this conversation last week, some callers attempted to make, the connection between, the rich oligarchs of years gone by, the Stafford Sands, the Pop Simonet, all those types of persons, connecting them to certain things back in the day and certain illegal activities, as was alleged back in the day, who ended up not only serving in the cabinet, but also enriching themselves. I wonder if we remember why a certain very smart lawyer from Mason Edition rose to prominence in this country. One of the things, and this is why I find it so ironic, the stance of some persons, particularly in the Progressive Liberal Party. One of the things that Sir Lyndon railed against, absolutely railed against back in the day, was the double dealing. He railed against persons like Sir Stafford Sands who were involved, and it's on the record. I think there was a royal commission that spoke to it back in the day, who were involved in taking payments from, casino operators back then, giving out casino licenses, getting monthly payments. Do you guys not remember all of this? Everything that was happening in the 60s that Sir Lyndon railed against? Do you recall why that original idea about removing persons with casino licenses from being eligible to sit in the cabinet? Do you not remember where the precursor of that idea came from? It came from Sir Lyndon. It came from that original group. It came from the PLP and others, not just the PLP, others back in the day who were determined that if we're going to chart our own course, we would do things differently. I'm just so surprised that argument, if they did it, we should do it too. Sir Lyndon did not normalize the terrible things that were happening back in the day, recorded. Like I said, you could look at the results from the Royal Commission of Inquiry. He actually stood up and said, enough is enough. And he said that we were going to go a different way. But now you come forward to 2025, just 10 years after we got legalized web shops, and you guys want to say, okay, disregard all of that. Are we really wanting to do that? Do we really want to go back to the way things were? Is that progress?
I think when you regress, that's the opposite of progress. You can't call regression progression. That's the problem with this country, though. We've labeled some regressive move under the bills of being progressive, just that for special interest to get their own way. And now here we are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things
like those people say that
don't make no sense.
He talked about that. The casino licenses was a big thing. Those casino licenses were tied to the mafia back in the day. There was a whole Royal Commission of Inquiry that exposed dirty deals. You guys don't remember that? You don't remember Sir Stafford Sands admitting that he got hundreds of thousands of dollars from, the same mafia men linked to the casinos in Freeport and Nassau? You guys don't remember that? What was happening back then?
Was it Meyer Lansky and that crew
and now
in these parts as well?
And now you want to turn around and say,
Meyer Lansky?
Hey, let's ignore all of that and go back. Oh, my goodness, I'm sure he would be surprised and shocked. But more than that, with Pastor Lyland, I didn't even know this argument was happening. I missed his letter yesterday. I just saw the response, then I had to go back and read his letter and see what was happening. And to his credit, I thought Sabas's response was, it was measured, it was controlled, and he tried to, make his point. So I thought that his response in some aspects could have been a little bit convincing, but there's so many other aspects that just aren't convincing.
Okay, well, let's get a couple of these things. Naughty and MJ, we all know why the government chose China. Do you all remember a certain Fritzy MP who was trying to shake down...
Oh, what?
Shake down Sarkis. You mean the homie? That one you talking about? Y'all call him Fritzy? We just call him the homie. Mm-hmm. You mean the one who was trying to allegedly get a contract for his aged father for customs brokerage? I know to find it. I just look in my political trash can. Thank you, Texter.
Did we ever get to the bottom of that story with that person who I guess worked for CCA that ended up being some sort of ambassador at large for the Bahamas? Do you remember that? I gotta Google that. I don't remember his name, but
Naughty and MJ, are we talking about the same Pinlan who the FBI was investigating for his implication in drug trafficking? That's Linden?
Yeah, we are. Because I'll be honest with you, I know that a lot of people do turn around and vilify him, but at the time when he was standing up for our rights, I don't think you would find any Bahamian that lived during that time that said that what he was pursuing wasn't a noble, wasn't a noble path. Of course, even I look back at some of the things that happened since then, and I look at some of the corruption that happened in this country since then, and it saddens me because you had people who seemingly started off on the right path, end up on the wrong path, and were never guided back to the right path, perhaps. And so that saddens me. But it doesn't take away from some of the earlier accomplishments and some of the truths and some of the work, the hard work that they did to put us on the right path. The question is, what are we going to do now? Are we going to also say, oh, well, similar to what the text is saying, they bad, we bad, everybody bad, so let's be bad together. We have to say, no, these are our values. This rule is in place for a particular reason, and it's mostly to do with influence, right? And I have nothing against the web shops, but we have to as Bahamians recognize how different, even if you call them a vice, how different this particular vice is. You go into the liquor store, liquor isn't good for you. You probably have gout or something else and shouldn't even be drinking liquor. But you walk into the liquor store, you hand them your money, you walk out with a bottle of something you shouldn't have. You go into a store, you buy cigarettes, terrible for you, shouldn't be buying those. But you hand them your money and you walk out with something else. You walk into a web shop, you hand them your money. You know what you walk out with?
Money, sometimes.
Hope. That's what they sell. They sell hope. And it's been a regularized business now. We're not saying that they're doing anything illegal, but we have to be honest with ourselves that the nature of this business is very, very different. They're taxing the poor through hope. And that's a fact.
But I'll tell you, you look at it over time, and it's been that way from time immemorial, though.
And also there's a fallacious argument around the casinos, because I know that one of the things that Sabas often mentions is that, you're not treating the casinos differently. The casinos, specifically, we could call their names, Atlantis and Bahama, are being treated differently because their market is different.
Correct.
Their market is different.
And I like Vegas because when you go to Vegas, they tell you we pay back 80% of the time. Nowhere here says what they pay back.
The reason why, I think they do have
and I'll be honest with you too.
Board.
I'll be honest with you too, MJ. I'm be honest with you. You may get a call one night. MJ, you have to come pick up Naughty, or you got to go to Central and pick him up because they didn't carry him. Because I'll tell you, if I get to my late, Lord bless me, and hopefully give me long life, but I get to my Walker years and I still can't go in the casino and gamble, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tie one on with your permission, get a big cup of the souvenir dice in the casino, the ones they give you, find the hardest crap game going on, throw all the dice in the middle of the table, and say Yahtzee and break off.
I think you will have fun that night.
No, because as far as we've been denied that privilege, like that opportunity. I feel, as a second-class citizen in my own country, that I can't go to the casino and say, look, let me put 5 on black. And
it's almost at the point where you'll be able to do that in the web shops pretty soon. I don't know if there's been any lobbying for that. Let me say this. In 2022 to 2023, web shops paid over $43 million in taxes. They made an estimated $246 million in gross gaming revenue. I'm reverse engineering these numbers based on our budgets, right? In 2023 to 2024, their revenue dropped to about $205 million, but the taxes was still about $36 million. One thing I do notice that happened during the last administration was that the Minnis administration actually raised the taxes on the gaming industry, right? They raised it before they got a favorable deal, as Mr. Bastian noted in that article that was in the paper they got a favorable deal from Mr. Christie where they paid 11% plus 2% for charity. That was the deal. When the Minnis administration came in, taxes went up. So now we're looking at anywhere from about 15 to 17.5%. That is a big, if you're making millions and millions and millions, those little small percentage moves are a big, big deal. So there's a lot of motivation to ensure that the next government remains a friendly government. I would ask, and I would love our government to tell us, has there been any lobbying from the gaming industry, been approached and talked, about taxes and whether or not they want to go back to the rate that Mr. Chris, the great rate that Mr. Christie gave them? Has there been any talk about this? Because I could see that the revenues for the gaming industry doesn't appear to be as much. People don't have as much money, right? People don't have as much money these days. It'll be interesting, though, to watch this conversation continue. I just think, and like I said, I think Mr. Sebastian gave a good, measured, very, very measured response. But I think Pastor Bethel had some great points as well. And I would hope that the next conversation they have would be face-to-face in private, because maybe we don't know it. I cannot get into the theological aspect of this. I can't get into who, God looking at it. Yeah, I that's above my pay grade.
All right, we got to get to the break. Flip side of the break, we'll continue. We've got some texts to get to and a couple of calls, and then we'll slide into sports. But still got a couple of more things we need to talk about on this Tuesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
All of a block, me say some a rally back, and some of them turn so back. We a road boy out and we not left it. And some a rally back, and some of them turn so back. When it at the place and the place of a black out. With them there when Kingston run hard. When we look in the food for we pot. Kingston we there when mass.
BK Nassau and Pepsi want to bring you a fun day on us. Upgrade your favorite combo and get a chance to win great prizes like staycations at Atlantis or Baja Mar, powerboat adventure excursions, or a Blue Lagoon dolphin encounter. You can also win a relaxing day at Sandy Toes or a VIP movie experience at Fusion. Upgrade your combo at any of Burger King Nassau's 7 locations and enter to win online at bk242.com. Win fun days with Pepsi and Burger King, where taste is king.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Looking for tech solutions without the hassle? Since 1941, the Armory Company has been the Bahamas' trusted tech partner. From access to smart home setups and laptop repairs, we handle it all. Need a repair? We've got you covered, no matter where you bought it. Can't find what you need? Call us at 397-1600 for a custom solution. Visit us behind Wendy's on Mackey Street with delivery to all family islands. The Armory Company, where your tech problems meet their match.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Now special dedication to all dogs of dogs, dedicated to all top dogs, celebrity crew. Man called Tony, man called Robert, and while Apache riding through. Curfew! Sometimes so back, some of them are rally back. We a road boy, youth and we no take back no chat. Sometimes so back, some of them are rally back, but we a road boy, youth and we no take back no chat. You full of big chat and can't defend that. If a jailhouse you come from, we sending you go back. You full of big chat and can't defend that. If a Bellevue you come from, we sending you go back. Cause with them there when they get around hard, food for the potter. Man, I'm no time back.
Why didn't you buy this?
We have a rampacker. Now left it. When we move compact. Man, we take a couple store, couple bank and shop. And policeman a talk about we hotter. Judge I know we have to run left the spot. Pull
that up, Mr. Producer. Pull it up, because you got me and MJ dancing in there right now.
That's a good pick. That is a good one.
All right. Caller, I see you with us back, all right? And we'll get you right back on. Let's get to these texts, MJ. Naughty and MJ, China's trying to have their cake and eat it too. Naughty, in response to your earlier text, Dr. Darville's wife is Chinese.
Well, what is that?
I don't know if that matters with the price of fish.
Oh.
But since you're so hot up to know yes or no, I did pull a picture. She is Chinese.
maybe.
But it
that's how
doesn't
we got
matter.
The 2%, right?
Love is love. I wish them the best.
Maybe that's how they got. It'd be working for us with these low interest loans. Who knows? I don't know.
There you go.
Why y'all laughing? Y'all so wrong for that.
I was just going to say yum yum dim sum.
I know
that's
some
all.
people are very uncomfortable with this loan from China for legitimate reasons. / hospital at all. Some people don't like the fact that we getting this loan. Some people don't like we bringing in all these workers.
Now,
all great points.
Listen, great point by Peter Maury too. Shout out to Peter Maury. Like Peter said, you're building that hospital in the Papua Tract area, which is notorious for flooding. It's on the waterfront.
And
it
it's
has
low.
2 canals surrounding it and tributaries that run off.
Yeah.
Why did the U.S. Embassy build up on a hill? Because we're prone to flooding.
We must have a plan to build that up. Ain't no way.
Trust me.
Please do your due diligence. But yeah, I think his I don't know Dr. Darville's wife, Mrs. Darville, but if she's Chinese, I don't think that has any bearing on the decisions that the cabinet is making. Come on.
Let's get to the
They
fall.
just want this loan from China. That's what it is.
Talking heads.
Hey, yeah, good afternoon, Naughty. Good afternoon, Mary Jane.
Hey.
How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. Listen, according to Dr. Darville, they said that all of the environmental
impact assessments.
And the word is go. So that's a
I'm telling you, they going.
The money in the bank.
For that, the money in the bank for that.
How much you want to make a bet once that build? If we get one good score down there on Saunders Beach, you're here, flowing on the lower level of the new hospital.
Please let them put a good foundation. Go ahead. Sorry, caller.
Yeah, listen. You given all of this good advice and all this good analysis, man, you need to go get some of the consultancy money, man.
I gotta go find it. I don't know where to find it.
Yeah, but you go all this stage advice you throwing out there and whatnot. And we paying these consultancy, we ain't getting the Christ thing back from them. We ain't know what they doing. What they doing, man. I hope.
I would you call if she could be part of that 60 million, the last boost, or the 260 million. Yes, but let's do that.
Crazy.
Let's do that, man. I hope next election, if you be the think of that, they hire you, man. I think you, Belinda Wilson, Kumali, and LBT. If we put you all in charge, you all fix this country.
Boy, that's some powerful names you call.
I mean,
good company.
What a compliment! What a compliment! Thank you so much, caller.
You all will get this country on the straight and narrow quick, man.
Thank you.
All right, caller, good stuff.
It's a pleasure listening to you guys.
You too. Glad to hear from you, man. Have a good one. Let's get to the other calls. Talking heads.
Hello, good day.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Naughty and Miss J.
Hey.
MJ.
Hey.
Yeah. Nice to say with y'all on this platform.
Hey, do me a small favor, caller. Just turn your radio down just a little bit for us, please.
Yeah, I even pull on the side of the road because I'm driving a really big truck.
Okay, good.
Yeah, please pull over.
First of all, right, I want to commend you, Mr. Naughty. You kind of replaced like Mohican in the radio host work. I appreciate your openness and giving people the opportunity to kind of express themselves even when they're off and kind of trying to correct them without being too rude. I commend you and I want you to keep it up.
I appreciate that, caller.
Yes, you fill in the shoes of a very, very big man. And I'd like to call his name too, Mr. Monka, and he gets on my nerves too.
That was my good brother, man. I was his mulatto brother, man. You did it. That's my boy. Lord bless the dead.
I see you, whatever that is, he just say that just get on my nerves. Anyway, about this China and United Nations deal. First and foremost, right? You notice how much Chinese are over here, right?
Been noticing.
They need the watering holes or the cheaper places to buy anything from. You notice that Chinese only are neighbors from the south. And so everything ties in together. United Nations, like you say, and Beamans aren't stupid because plenty people called in and expressed the same thing, that United Nations is a straightforward place, a place of transparency. And the Beamans, the government doesn't want that. And they know that because anything from China, if you buy a girl, anything, and you buy it from China, it's considered cheap. I don't care how nice it is. it isn't going to last long. And compare the shoes, even, I mean, I not to get off course, but you see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of mass producing. Yeah.
I think they meant to go with China because China. Anyway, you guys are right on point. Let me put it like that.
All right, well, I appreciate you reading between the lines.
Telling the truth.
You are
telling the truth because people need to hear, and we need to get serious about this because this government is playing, and we are fed up, like Super Cat said.
I tell you, and listen. I know this is your first time calling. Don't make it your last. Chime in and keep us locked 4 to 6 when you're out there on the road. All right, my brother, and be safe.
Like I tell you, you take over the radio way. I don't listen no more.
Much respect, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you, bro.
Right,
that means a lot.
Have a good one,
Thanks
caller.
so much. Let's get to this other call. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty.
What's happening?
I have 3 questions. One for you.
Oh, hold on. I have one for you.
Mary J.
I have one for you. You could have your 3 questions. I have one for you. Can you please turn your radio down just a little bit?
All right, no problem. I'll turn it down, sir.
Be good to go now. All right. I think we should be there. We should be good. Caller, you still there? How far is your radio from your phone, bro? Where you at now, in Andros?
I love it.
Or you fall in one well?
Sound like a big room.
Bro, this Uncle Louie. You fall in the valley.
That's a big room.
No, man, I had to go and turn it down.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Good to go.
To you.
All right. So what you got for us
If
today,
I
bro?
was, just say, hypothetically speaking, if there's rumors about me that I was a drug dealer, I'm selling drugs, but now I want to run. But the rumors don't have to be true. Just rumors about me, and I want to run. That disqualified me from running on a ticket at the House Assembly.
You're asking by law, or you mean by
law?
Yeah, by law, it does not disqualify you.
All right, then. So I know there was someone who represented Andros in that same state.
I was thinking of the same thing as an independent at one time, correct?
And they won. So what the issue is? Next question. I hear a caller calling on your station. Said that he was born in America by a single mother. And he came over here and he assimilated. He didn't get in his course, no disturbance. But now he's an American and a Bahamian. How is that possible? After the age of 18, you have to make a choice.
No, in all fairness, caller, I think that was just a little bit of facetiousness on that caller's behalf.
You heard it all right?
Yeah, I know them. They're a regular caller to the show. I think
I understand that. So if they're making those kind of things...
No, but let me finish. Hey, hold on. Caller. Let me just finish making my point, and I can let you make yours.
No problem, sir.
I thought when he said that he represented for the Fourth because he was born over there, like... That's him being a little facetious, repping for the Fourth, trying to say I'd rather be American than Bahamian. But at the end of the day, he's here every day, calling in, making suggestions on how to improve the country, as well as raising issues to topics that we need to talk about. So I think his heart really is Bahamian. I just think he got caught out there, trying to be funny, and he should have left money to the professionals.
That's acceptable.
All right, now what's your third point?
With the Chinese situation, with this hotel, with this hospital, there's Mary Jane, you making I'm coming to this. Okay. They said that it's a specialty hospital for women and children.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I thought a hospital is made for all those who are sick, go to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you say only women and children, let's look at the reality. Bahamian women are not having children at the rate that foreigners are having children in this country.
We are not. Our birth rate is down. You're right.
That's a fact. So if you're saying it's only for women, then they said the next hospital will be for something else. I look at this, you know why the government, and I voted for the PLP. I could be honest with you. I don't think I could be heading in that direction this election. Because of 2 things. If the British had made a suggestion that they would build oil, and the Americans made the suggestion, the Chinese was in it. I feel that the government didn't want to deal with those 2 entities from America and British because they would have to be in with transparency.
Right, okay, and
interesting. Transparency came in. That's where the knowledge of not dealing with those things, because the Chinese don't deal with transparency.
Very interesting.
And when the transparency it would have been where the money gone, how it was spent, and what it was done. And it would have at least allowed some of our Bahamian young men to gain some knowledge on how to go about construction, how to go about these things. If the Chinese work is going to bring in, what Bahamians are going to learn from that?
Right. No, you're making some points.
In that. So the government still sidelined the Bahamian public by not allowing when the British come. They might have hired 400 or 500 workers and have to train them. The Chinese is bringing their own workers.
You're making some good points.
The advantage for the guy on the block who they say don't want work, for the guy on the block who they say uneducated, who could learn a trade, because that's what our problem is. When a Jamaican come to the Bahamas, they come a trade. You never find a Jamaican man who ain't a carpenter, a mason, or
mechanic, or
some kind of trade he has. Bahamians, them, when they got caught up in the 1982 trade, they start to sell their tools for coke.
Mm-hmm.
You go hire a Bahamian right now and tell him go build your house, he got to go borrow somebody's hammer. He don't even have a tool.
Boy.
So when we look at that, and the government made this statement, which I thought was blatantly wrong, from Dr. Michael Jarvis, because he put down all the alcohol decals down to say don't serve to the American young children on alcohol, but he not in English and he not nowhere else to say don't serve to liquor.
Correct. All through the hood, they need to shut it down as well.
Now we have a problem.
People on TV.
21 over.
Call downtown and said this is what you have to do to don't serve no American people. But what happened to the Bahamian people who in the get the boy again for
Correct. And you see our kids have a problem now, right? You see our kids in trouble now, right?
I'm trying to tell you. So when they make these statements, and he's the Minister of Health, and allow bars to proliferate to all the things, I mean, doing all that, that's a health crisis in the country.
True.
Then at the end of the day, you can make a statement that you was too far going with the Chinese when you could at least look at what it would have brought to the table for the young men on the street that they may learn the trade from the English people there, because the Chinese people are bringing their own workers.
Right, and there's a language barrier. You're absolutely right.
Language barrier. Mm-hmm. To speak English.
And a cultural barrier too.
We don't need to broke the language.
Yeah, no caller, you're making some good points.
We still understand them and they still understand us, but we, I cannot vote for the PLP on this matter alone, because if you're telling me that your main good for the Bahamian people, then there should have been a discussions amongst the Bahamian people. In my community now, they are taking properties without even discussing people.
And which community is that, caller? Because I've heard rumors about Angliston and so on and so forth. Which community?
But I tell you, if they taken property in the name of King Charles, shouldn't you go back to King Charles and say, build us a hospital?
Wow.
Caller, you're making too much sense
in the
today.
name of King Charles inside Foxhill. Take the property in Angliston in the name of King Charles to do low cost woman, and you want to build that on King. Shouldn't the hospital build on King Charles' name the same way?
That's something, eh?
Caller, you making...
We are mixed up in our intellectual talk, but we lack wisdom in what we say.
Caller, you making some excellent points, man.
Sound good, sound technical, but where's the wisdom for the lack of wisdom? We are going wrong. We have plenty knowledge, you know. We just don't have a bunch of wise men. Remember, what the Bible says? A poor man wisdom is often despised. I'll hang up.
Good stuff, caller. Don't make it your last time calling either.
That
Good
caller
stuff,
raised
man.
some really good points.
Really
Imagine
good points.
repossessing land in the
caller,
name of
again,
King Charles in 2025.
We've heard from several new callers today. I like hearing the new voices, and they're making plenty sense.
I love our new callers. I love our old callers. I love our talking heads.
Naughty and MJ not trying to speak for JNN, but he can be both a Bahamian and U.S. citizen if he was born to a single Bahamian mother in the United States. The Constitution allows the mother in that situation to pass on her Bahamian citizenship to him.
Absolutely.
All right. Naughty and MJ. Well, hold on. Let me open this up. This. All right. Naughty and MJ, the Chinese aren't doing anything nefarious with the...
Text coming in fast.
Wow. All right. Let me get this. The Chinese aren't doing anything nefarious with the arrangement. All countries, Exim banks operate in that manner. For the Grand Bahama Airport from the UK, Exim Bank, the UK would also bring their own supplies and labor. That's their terms. Well, actually, I'm still waiting for them to come down and put that loan into fruition and make it into action. Because as we all know, we have no airport in Grand Bahama to show for it. So where are the money gone and where are the people and the supplies?
The last caller made a very nuanced and interesting point, right? So we have reporting in the paper that the UK offer was very competitive to the Chinese offer, right? And now we're being told that it was just too far along in the process. But the last caller made a great point. If all things are considered, the terms of the loan are pretty much the same, and they are coming to the table. They're aware that you've been working on this thing with the Chinese, so I'm sure they would take into consideration the timing on getting a deal done, and perhaps they would move quickly. If all things are equal, why wouldn't you perhaps look at an arrangement where you can have more Bahamian young men and young women learn on that job language barrier, where they could learn skills, so we can do it ourselves in the future? I'm I'm not understanding why that wasn't a consideration. Thank you, caller, because you made a really excellent point. I didn't even think about that
Everybody
part of it.
who texted in and chimed in, good stuff. Last text for the day. Naughty and MJ, that caller is right about the properties in Engliston. I see them clearing down the properties also in the Grove. All
In
right.
King Charles' name? King Charles,
I know.
who's on, what would you call it, an allowance from the British government? That King should be property in his name? Okay.
And shout out listening to us all the way in Winnipeg, man. Grand Bahama's own Barrington. So shout out to Barrington and the
shout
fam
out to
in
you,
Winnipeg.
Barrington.
Shout out, man. Always glad to know you got us locked and loaded. And like I said, let me get this last one in before we get out of here. Hi, Naughty and MJ. I believe that the government should maximize the present PMH location, building, and land space. We all know that our government does not maintain its buildings. I'm sure that there are lots of buildings and landscape at PMH that are not being used. Centralizing PMH facilities will reduce the cost of equipment and administrative staff. Great show as always.
That is a great point as well. Yeah, and that was talked about before.
All right, great stuff, everybody who chimed in, texted in, called in, especially the new callers. We want to hear from you again as well, too. That's always good to hear from, and our old callers as well, and the regulars.
Did you call them old?
Yeah, I didn't mean it
our
like that,
regulars, we love them, yeah.
But yeah, definitely good stuff. As more and I will talk sports.
At some point, we got to get to sports. Come on.
I promise, okay?
Come on.
And hold on. Let me make sure I got everybody. Okay, Naughty and MJ, check the percentage on the other completed projects. It's not a good model. The 50-50 is crazy. All right? So, yeah, I agree with you all. Everybody who chimed in, texted in, and called in, man, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff, and we'll do it again. All right? You guys keep it right where you got it. And news is coming up next. And we'll see you tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
When we come dance all of a block, me say some a rally back and some of them dance back. We a road boy out and we not left it. And some a rally back and some of them dance back. When it at the place and the place of a black out. With them there when Kingston run hard. When we look in the food for we pot.
Long day? Hungry crew? Say less and satisfy everyone with KFC's Summer Buckets. Grab a super summer bucket and get 8 juicy pieces of fried chicken, 8 nuggets, corn, our new white rice with gravy, 4 buttery biscuits, 2 pink lemonades, and 4 dessert biscuits. So whether it's on the beach, at home, or chilling with the crew, KFC Summer Bucket starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
If you set people's seats on edge every time you step on the brakes, it's time you visit Muffler World on Mackey Street. They can take your brake rotors off, and if there's anything left, machine them shiny. Then their technicians will install new pads, and before you know it, you'll be able to stop without people calling social service on you. I know they're trying to hit my car. Children in the car. Muffler World can replace the whole package, including hoses, master cylinders, and more. For first-class brake work, stop by Muffler World on Mackey Street. Open Saturdays 8 till noon.
Nassau Cruise Port, Kalik and Ricardo Rum presents the Made in the Bahamas Festival. Join us on Saturday, July the 19th from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. for a cultural affair hosted by Kenny and the Mighty Pencil. Get ready for live performances by Avi, Fan Sean, Ancient Man, and more. Plus music by the best DJs. Enjoy entertainment by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, a Junkanoo Rush Out, giveaways, and tasty Bahamian food. Admission is only $10, so don't miss out. Drink responsibly and celebrate proudly.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. Specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options.